The ticker tape flashed across every major sports network, a seismic shift reported deep in the offseason. Munetaka Murakami, the towering slugger who redefined power in Asia, was reportedly headed to the Chicago White Sox, a blockbuster deal that immediately resurrected memories of his dramatic pressure cooker arrival on the global stage just months prior. Before he could sign the papers, before the plane touched down in the States, he first had to survive the crucible that was the World Baseball Classic, an experience that nearly shattered the confidence built over a lifetime of dedicated hitting, only to temper him into the clutch player the world now revered. Welcome back to 606 Prime News, where we dissect the moments that create legends, examining the thin line between suffocating burden and career-defining glory, tracing the journey of a player whose 2022 performance had instantly made him the most scrutinized athlete in Japan. 56 home runs in the Nippon Professional Baseball League in 2022. That number wasn't just a statistic, it was an anchor tied to Munetaka Murakami's reputation, an invisible, crushing weight pulling him down the moment he stepped into the Samurai Japan clubhouse for the WBC. He wasn't just the third baseman for the Yakult Swallows anymore. He was the future, the heir apparent to Shohei Ohtani's throne as the game's ultimate power hitter, the man who had surpassed Sadaharu Oh's long-standing single-season record for a Japanese-born player, confirming his status as the youngest two-time NPB MVP in history. The pressure wasn't manufactured by the media. It was inherent in the 118-meter bombs he had launched the previous year. Murakami arrived at the WBC not as a star seeking validation, but as a diamond expected to withstand the ultimate crushing force, and when the tournament began, that force proved nearly overwhelming. This was different, as the announcers noted. This wasn't the comfortable, familiar turf of the Central League. This was playing for the nation, for the pride of Samurai Japan, where every swing, every strikeout was magnified 20-fold, broadcasting his struggles not just to his home country, but to the entire baseball world. The early games were brutal. The swing speed was there, the power profile was undeniable, but the timing was non-existent. The man who had crushed 56 pitches into the stratosphere suddenly couldn't find the barrel. He was swinging through fastballs, chasing breaking balls, and wearing his frustration like a poorly fitted helmet. By the time Japan reached the elimination rounds, Murakami's stat line was haunting. He was mired in an 0-for-11 slump at one point, compiling 11 strikeouts before he managed to break through with the sequence of events that would eventually redefine his tournament. The commentators watched him closely, noting his body language, the heavy weight of expectation palpable even through the screen. There was a genuine worry in the dugout, an internal dialogue among the coaches about how to ease the pressure, how to get him to lighten up, because the weight of those 56 home runs from the previous season was clearly acting as a counterweight to his natural ability. They knew the physical tools were flawless. As one pundit observed during a particularly difficult at-bat, physically there's nothing wrong. I mean, he's been working hard. The mental barrier, however, was immense. The irony was devastating. The greatest domestic season in recent memory had become a burden, freezing the free-flowing timing that had made him famous. This was a player putting too much on himself, convinced that anything less than a game-breaking hit was a failure on the international stage. The climax of this early struggle came in the quarter-final game against Italy. The team needed him. They needed the Munetaka Murakami, not the tentative shadow he had become. Every plate appearance was a high-stakes drama. Even managing a modest base hit into left field, his second single of the tournament, was treated by the broadcast team as a small, crucial victory, a temporary easing of the tension. He was trying too hard, putting everything behind every swing, resulting in mistimed connections and weak contact. The desperation was so profound that later, in the immediate aftermath of this period, he would openly admit that he considered the ultimate abandonment of his power identity bunting. The two-time MVP, the man built to hit home runs, contemplating a sacrifice just to get on base and contribute something tangible to the team effort. This internal crisis, this struggle to marry his incredible potential with the paralyzing pressure of the moment, defined the first half of the WBC. It was only after that desperate single, and a subsequent walk, that the timing started to click. The mental adjustment came down to simplification. My thought was always, get in one zone, look in one zone, stay right there. Advice he finally managed to internalize. Then, with a unique high leg kick delivery from the opposing pitcher, everything changed. Murakami, on the very first pitch he saw in that pivotal at-bat, drove the ball to center field. It went off the bottom of the wall, an immediate, earth-shaking double that broke the game open and instantly validated every ounce of trust placed in him. Murakami breaks through in the World Baseball Classic. It's 5-2 Japan. It was only a matter of time, the announcer roared, encapsulating the collective sigh of relief felt across the country. That moment, that powerful crack of the bat, finally chipped away at the psychological wall, transforming the burden of 56 home runs into the foundation of a championship run, setting the stage for the dramatic walk-off double against Mexico and the ultimate path to global recognition, securing his eventual destiny as a player ready for the next massive challenge in Chicago. The massive challenge awaiting Munetaka Murakami in Chicago was not merely about adjusting to American pitching or the grueling MLB schedule, it was about internalizing the pressure of expectation, a skill he was forced to master during the white-hot intensity of the World Baseball Classic. That crucible of global baseball, particularly the opening rounds of the playoffs, served as the definitive trial for a player burdened by historical success. Entering the quarterfinals, the weight of a nation resting on the shoulders of the two-time MVP was immediately visible. As the camera zoomed in and the crowd noise crested, the tension was thick, palpable, hanging over the plate like the low-hanging fog on the Chicago lakefront. The commentary team, observing his tentative early performance, noted the visible strain as he faced the opposition pitcher. What do you do for the quarterfinals and beyond? One commentator mused as the pitcher delivered a 2-2 pitch. Murakami managed to spoil it, pulling a base hit into left field, a modest second hit for him in the tournament, just another single. Yet even successful contact lacked the explosive authority fans had come to expect from the Japanese slugger. The narrative surrounding him wasn't about mechanics, it was purely psychological. The team just trying to get him to lighten up, the analysis continued, because again, he is putting so much on him. It's almost like the 56 home runs last season are a burden for him in this tournament, because this is different, playing for Samurai Japan. That staggering 56-homer season, which had earned him unparalleled national adulation, had paradoxically become a heavy vest of responsibility, slowing his bat and tightening his swing. He was fighting his own ghost, the expectation of immediate, historic power, against pitchers who knew they only needed to exploit the fraction of an inch of anxiety lodged in his mind. Physically, he was immaculate. Hours of hard work had ensured that, leaving no excuse other than the mental barrier he had constructed. He was looking for his timing, but timing is elusive when the moment feels too big. He wasn't connecting with the ball on the barrel the way he effortlessly had during the regular season. He was chipping away, seeking singles where the world demanded thunder. Yet this necessary period of struggle, this moment where success felt like a weight rather than a release, was crucial. It forced him to look within, to strip away the expectations tied to his past achievements and rediscover the core joy of the swing. The transition wouldn't be immediate. It would require a crucial turning point, a breakthrough moment that proved his mental fortitude could match his physical gifts. When that breakthrough finally arrived, heralded by the explosive crack of the bat driving the ball off the center field wall, resulting in the dramatic walk-off double against Mexico, it wasn't just a win for Japan. It was the definitive proof that Munetaka Murakami possessed the character to survive failure on the world stage and emerge stronger. He had transformed the burden of expectation into the fuel for victory, shattering the psychological wall and securing his status not just as a Japanese legend, but as a global superstar ready for the biggest stage North America could offer, setting his course directly toward the eventual destiny he earned in Chicago. This complete package, the raw power, the discipline, and the proven ability to thrive under unbearable pressure, is exactly what the White Sox were paying for when they made him the centerpiece of their future. If you found this deep dive into the making of an international legend compelling, make sure to hit the like button, share this video with fellow baseball fans, and subscribe to 606 Prime News for more exclusive analysis. What single moment from Murakami's WBC run do you think truly convinced the White Sox that he was ready for the MLB? Let us know in the comments below.